All right, so we're gonna build our first project right now. So go ahead and use what I taught you in the previous sections in order to make a new folder here. And I just opened up that productivity app folder. So I showed you how to do that in the past, so I won't go over it again. Go ahead and watch that video if you are stuck. So how do we build this productivity app? So essentially, I wanna make sure that you have everything that I have that has brought me to success. So you can see there's a ton of data on this screen, and this data leads me to really, really great trading ideas. And we will build these data streams out as well, and I will talk about them as well, and like how I can pull alpha and strategies out of these data streams. This is data that most traders aren't looking at, and you always want to separate yourself from the crowd. For now, I want to go ahead and have you build this productivity app. So this will keep you on path, and you don't have to use it if you don't want to. I found it super helpful to make sure I don't get distracted. So for example, I gave myself, when I started this, all I did is I said, hey, I get 10 minutes to give a project overview, but honestly, that's probably going to be too long. But then how does this help build the RBI system? So at 8:33, and it is 8:25 right now, so in about 7-8 minutes it will highlight this one, and it will give me a warning when I'm running out of time. So if since I've already kind of explained this project, I'll put 1 minute down, and then if I rerun this, you can see go over the project. I've got under 2 minutes left, so I need to hurry up. So the project we're building here in this training video is super important because you're going to learn how to build stuff. And if you don't know how to code right now, that's totally fine. Just code everything out with me. We have everything set up, and this will kind of test to make sure that you have your environment set up, you understand how the folders work and all that good stuff. So everything that you need to start building, we'll go ahead and make sure that it's all set up here. And let's start coding out this project. As you can see, I have under 2 minutes left, but it says here on my productivity app, how does this help the RBI process? Remember, I want to keep talking about the RBI process because it's so important and one of my biggest revelations I've had. So the RBI process is how to automate your trading. Now, when Moondev went ahead and got started, he said, oh my goodness, this sounds so great. I could have automated trading bots run for me 24/7, 365 and make me a ton of money. So I ran and tried to learn all this stuff. I had to figure it all out on my own, so it took a long time. So I'm happy to help you here. But I went straight for the bot. I built the bot right away without testing anything. I thought I had some great strategy that I could just put into the bot, and I was wrong because I didn't test that strategy. So I'm here to save you that time, money, and effort, and make sure that you have a procedure from the start, because I literally have only had this procedure for a few months now, and I'm 3.5 years into this game. So that really just, in my mind, is accelerating your learning curve, because at the end of the day, if you were to go at this alone, you would probably do the same thing I did. You'd probably just go run a bot right away and lose money, because that bot, you don't know if it actually works. So the RBI process is research trading strategies. How do you find trading strategies? There are so many places online. You can go to YouTube. YouTube has unlimited trading strategies. Are they the best trading strategies? Probably not, because there's no filter. But Google Scholar has really good strategies as well, and there's more of a filter here. So what I like to do sometimes is just ask AI, like, give me 10 strategies, give me 10 trading strategies. And I'm not going to use these strategies, but I can use them as an idea of what to look up for on Google Scholar. So for example, it says trend following or swing trading. So I could say, give me trend following strategies. And then I can read papers about these trend following strategies. And maybe I'll use one piece from one strategy, another piece from another strategy to build my own unique edge. And that's what this all is about. It's about showing you how to build out research, find strategies, and backtest to make sure they actually work in the past. We also have this resource in Discord of quant strategies. So my team is reading these papers and posting some of their good finds in here. Now, of course, you're not going to want to just run one of these straight up, but maybe one piece of these can be added to your strategy and your edge. We all have to have different strategies in order for this to work. So that's why I keep telling you about the RBI system, research strats, and then you backtest them, backtest to see if they work in the past. If they work in the past, then implement with small size to a bot. The reason I'm telling you this is because, like I said, I ran right towards the bot, right towards the eye. I didn't know if the strategy worked, so I lost money. So to save you money, I am giving you my procedure that I use every single time now. So I research trading strategies and I backtest to see if they work. And I'll find like 5 strategies that work, but most of them are going to be losers. I had somebody email me the other day. They said, Moondev, it seems like, this process is hard. It seems like 95% of the trading strategies don't work. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. You found it. I'm so happy you came to the solution. And you see the solution, right? Oh, 95% of strategies fail. That's perfect. That means that 5% work. Perfect. Let's go. So just test 100 strategies, find 5 that actually work on back tests, and then implement those 5 with small size. So if they don't match up to the back test, which they don't always do, then you got 5 in bots, and let's say half of them work, then you have 2 or 3 that actually work in the future. So test 100 strategies, find 5 that work in the past, and maybe 2 to 3 of them will work in the future. And since you're using small size, you're not doing what I did. I went in and I said, okay, cool. I got 25 G's. I want to put on a bot of a strategy that I think works. But does it actually work? I don't know. I didn't backtest it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to save you time and money here. So that's the RBI process. I would really encourage to spend most of your time here because, this is all free and it really comes down to your time, right? If you can devote a few hours per day, at least a couple hours per day on the R and the B, you will be building an edge that is going to be proprietary to you. Nobody else is going to have your strategy because you're going to go ahead and read papers and figure out little pieces of different strategies, or look through the quant strategy section and maybe find a piece from this one, a piece from this one. Then nobody can have your strategy, and that's what it's about. So it's creating your own edge. And now that you know that, I think the next part that is super important is to be productive. And it's hard to be productive. There's so many different things that come into our day. And that's why I want to build this productivity app really quickly with you, because this productivity app, as you can see, it says I have 2 minutes left. Moondev said he would spend 7 minutes on the overview and a couple minutes on the RBI process. So I have to move on to the next thing. You see how that keeps my pacing good. So imagine if right here you had your ideas, and we'll build this out, but you could have, like, if you said, hey, I'm going to devote 2 hours per day to this algo trading process, and 30 minutes for research, and then 1.5 hours for backtesting. And if you really want to step on the gas, I could say backtest 1 and then 1.5 hours for backtest 2. And maybe after that you're going to read a paper, 0.5 hours reading a paper, and then maybe after that you're going to spend 0.5 hours watching YouTube strategies, and then maybe after that you're going to spend 0.5 hours connecting with other traders. Now that's a huge thing about, you're in the community now and you can connect with other traders. Go make friends with these guys, because these guys are smarter than me. Like, there are so many extremely smart people in here, and I want to be able to give you everything, including the community. And if you go make conversation in the members chat, you're going to build friendships for life that can probably lead to a lot of great things. So now you can see, let's code the productivity app, By the way, here in the quotes, if you don't know how to code yet, that's totally fine. Go watch that video of me showing how to code a couple more times. Go read a couple, maybe read a book about how to code. Learn Python the hard way is a good one, but these quotes make it so this code's not actually ran. So we have our productivity app that we're about to build here, and now we're just going to code it. Now, if you don't know how to code yet, don't worry. This might look confusing, but over time, as you practice, just like anything else, it will look less confusing. I'm going to import JSON. I'm going to import time. I'm going to say from date time, import date time and time delta. I'm going to say from term color, import cprint. So our goal is to build you this here in the bottom left. You can see I just imported term color. What is term color? It's what makes your screen colorful. This has been so delightful of a package for me. I'm going to say pip install term color. Okay, you can see here, term color pops up, pip install, copy it, open up your terminal up here, new terminal, and you can say, make sure that you're on your layer, your conda environment, essentially. You can see I'm on T-Flow, and I'm going to say pip install term color, and that's how you install it, just in case you don't already have it. Okay, let's keep on going here, but term color has been so nice because with coding in Python, you're looking at a lot of black and white, you know? So let's go ahead and import random. This will allow us to pick a random number. Let's make a function here. And again, this stuff might not all make sense. Let's make this a lot bigger. We're building this here. So this is what we're building. I'll just go ahead and put this on the screen and we'll get rid of everything else here. I'm excited because this is the first project we're building, and it's to keep your mind focused, because in order to do this, you have to be productive and you got to stay away from the distractions. And this will be a fun project for pretty much anybody that ever wants to learn how to code. So I know this isn't algo trading stuff, but productivity is like one of the hardest things in algo trading. So it's just like staying focused for a long period of time on your actual goals. And I've tried to give you the procedure here, which is the RBI system, and we'll build out this little productivity flow, and you can change yours however you want. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a function, def load tasks. And then we're going to do that and then say with open. So this is going to open a file, and we'll put the file there in a second. To actually go ahead and make a file. So I'm going to make a file called tasks.json. I'll delete this other one I just had in there for example. So I'm making a tasks.json file, and we'll go ahead and grab the path. So copy path here. Copy path here, and then we're going to paste it in, and then after that, after the quote, we're going to say comma and then R, and then we're going to say as F. So here, just double check this all looks good. And if you miss one line in coding, it's if you're new to this, it's a little frustrating sometimes in coding. If you miss one little character, then it's not going to work. As you go along and you learn how to code more and more, it actually becomes kind of fun because it's like a challenge. It's like, oh, did I miss the quote or whatever? But it will all start to make more sense. So like, be kind to yourself if this is new stuff. It's a lot, but you can do anything. I know you can do this. So json.load and then F. So we're loading in that file here. And then we're going to return tasks. And again, this stuff, if you're new to coding, this isn't going to make too much sense right now, but just code it with me because your fingers will start to learn it. And then when you don't understand something, please just do this, because this is so helpful for me. I can't believe the time we're living in. It's amazing. I go to ChatGPT or Luxy, you have access to both probably, and I say, hey, can you explain, please explain the concepts in this code with 3 analogies and 3 coding examples. I'm learning how to code and need to understand these concepts perfectly. So I always like to use something like that. Please explain the concepts in this code, and I'll just go ahead and put that here just so you have it. It's just a little prompt here to prompt to learn more about any code. I've found this pretty useful because the analogies are helpful, and then I get a bunch of code examples that I can test on. So you can see here, let's break down the Python code you provided and then explain the concepts using both analogies and additional coding examples. So you can see it tells us what the concepts are, it gives us some analogies, and it's just, for me, it's a really great way to learn. So whenever I get stuck, I just do that. Let's keep building out this project though. I want to get you to have this productivity app, and I only have 13 minutes left in order to build this. So you see how I have to stay productive too. And I have a lot of code here to show you. So we're going to start coding faster. I showed you how to get answers if any of this doesn't make sense. Just get practice in. It's all about practice. This stuff will come to you eventually. Just like anything else though, it takes practice. Get tasks, schedule tasks. We're passing in tasks, and then we're going to say task start time equals date time dot now, so it gets the time of right now. And then we're going to make an empty list here for schedule and say for task and minutes in tasks dot items, so it's getting all the tasks. And then it's going to say end time equals task start time. I'm actually going to turn off Copilot because it's we don't want to use it. We don't want to use Copilot while we're learning, that's for sure. Disable completions. Okay, perfect. Task start time, and I highly recommend not to use Copilot to start. I'm fortunate to have learned coding before AI, and I love AI so much, but when you're learning, it's not going to help you learn. It will help you learn in the example that I showed you where you get analogies and more examples, but it's really about typing it out yourself for now so you can like understand it. Your fingers can understand it. Schedule.append 2 parentheses here, task start time and end time. Okay, and then the next line will say task start time equals end time. Okay, and then we're going to return schedule. Perfect. So we're building out the productivity app, and now we're going to go ahead into the main function here. I only have 11 minutes, it says, so I'm going to have to go faster. Tasks equals load tasks. So we're calling that function that we created. Again, if this doesn't make sense to you, don't worry. I'm throwing a big project at you just to start, so you have some wins really quickly here. You may be waiting for your Discord role. Scheduled equals get task, and then say current index equals 0. And then here we're going to say while true, we're going to say now equals date time dot now. Okay, and then current task start time and end time equals schedule at the current index. Okay, and then remaining time equals end time minus now, and then remaining minutes equals int of remaining time dot total seconds divided by 60. Okay, and then we're gonna say print, and we're just gonna put a little space there. It just allows you to make it look a little nicer. And then we're gonna say for index. Again, this is not gonna make sense to everybody because you're just learning stuff still. So I'm throwing a project what you'll understand later, and I'm not even going over the code too much because I just want to get you up with some cool little tools that are gonna be helpful throughout this to keep you on track. So our index under current index, this would be task is completed, and then print f task done, and then e dot or e underscore time, e time dot str f time, and then parentheses. We're gonna do, so this is getting ugly, h percent m, and then that's it. So this just formats the time in hours, then minutes. And then we're gonna go here, elif index equals current index. Then this would be current task. If remaining minutes is under 2, then we're going to use that C print, the colorful print, C print, brackets, task, under 2 minutes left. I have 8 minutes. I'm looking over here. See how this keeps me on track? I know this isn't algo trading stuff, but dude, this is super, super helpful. And you're building your first thing. First thing, maybe second. White on red. So white text on red background. And then the attributes, adders equals blink. I want it to blink if it's in the last 2 minutes. Now, if we went ahead and say elif here, remaining minutes under 5. So in the last 5 minutes, we're going to C print F task, okay, minus remaining minutes, say minutes here, and then we're going to comma white, and this will be on red. So under 5 minutes, it's going to start showing red, and it's actually going to get there pretty soon because we're at 7 minutes left. I'm trying to race it here. Again, I know this stuff might be tough if you're brand new to coding, but don't worry, relax. You got this. Over time, it will start to make sense. I'm intentionally not explaining much here of the code because I want to just get a project done right off the bat, and then I'll show you everything else here that actually pertains to algo trading here in the following videos. We have a ton of projects we're going to build, a ton of back tests. Remember, it all comes down to actually learning how to code and being able to build anything you want. So that's why I'm building a couple things like this here at the start so you can have everything I have. Now we're going to move over, and remember, this has to be lined up with the elif. So you can see if, elif, and then this has to be lined up with it. So else, print f task at start time, s time dot strf time, again that weird thing, and then here quotes, and then we're going to do percentage h, percentage m. Okay, perfect. So we're done, and now we're going to go all the way back here to line up with the while. It has to line up with the while loop. So this part needs to line up with that while loop here. So it's right there. Super important. I'm going to put a list of reminders. Now, I'm a huge believer in what you put out into the universe, you get back 100x. You get everything you want, everything you want. And that's why I give so much. You know, you join this boot camp for a crazy price, like crazy low price. I put it on YouTube, everything. I put everything on YouTube. And then I give away stuff that nobody else is ever going to give away. So my mentality is if I have big goals, I'm going to keep repeating them to myself, and I'm going to keep giving, keeping my heart open to love. And the more I give, the better and faster I'm going to acquire the goals that I want as well. So as long as you have a giving mindset and you keep repeating the things that you actually want, you go towards. If you don't believe that and that's woohoo to you, that's fine. Some people call it faith. Some people call it religion, God, whatever it might be. I call it putting the energy out that you want to receive. You know, anything you put out into the universe, you get back. You can see here, I have these little, you know, thoughts here. I become my thoughts. Every day I get better. Every day I get better. Job's not finished. Just things that like I like to see throughout the day. And, you know, I can put my goals in here and things like that. Like, you know, I can say, hey, I have 1,000% algo, whatever your goal is. Doesn't matter. And you don't have to do this part if you don't want it, but I love this part. Time is irrelevant. I just love being reminded of good sayings, things like that. I only have 3 minutes left though. So every day I get better. I'm going to say rest at the end because that's a really good saying. Rest in peace, Kobe. But, you know, rest at the end, not in the middle. Another Kobe one, job's not finished. Job's not finished. He got interviewed, like, you excited about being in the finals? And he's like, I haven't won the championship yet. Job's not finished. Deal was already made. Wow, I like Kobe a lot, huh? A lot of these are from Kobe, but you know, whoever inspires you or whatever sayings you have, you can use this as a place for that on the road. I already have that one, but you know, I'm the best algo trader in the world, which I'm not, but hey, if I put it out there, then eventually I will be best algo trader in the world. Can't be too long. Okay, so I have these things, sayings now. These are lists of reminders, whatever you want to call them. And then I say random here because it's going to pick a random one. Random reminder equals random. And I only have 2 minutes left. Look at this, random.choice. See how it keeps me on track too. So list of reminders. And this actually needs to be, sorry, I was wrong on this one. This is a good teaching point too. I can select this and hit command right bracket. Command left bracket would move it there. Right bracket would move it there. Right bracket again would move it there. You see how it turned blue? It actually needs to be within the while loop. So the while loop's here. It needs to be 1 over. And I can see the flashing red light over here means I need to stop this. I need to be done because I had that goal. And this is the literally reason I built it. So while it needs to be 1 inwards, and I moved this over with command right bracket or left bracket, wherever you want it to go. So right bracket for me. And I have the pressure on to get this done in the next 2 minutes. And let's go ahead and do that. So let's say print. And I just put this little star thing here because I feel like it's a good vibe. I truly believe, you know, what you put out, the vibrations you put out is what you receive. So if you're grumpy, you're going to come across a lot of grumpy people, you know. If you want to do big things and you truly believe you can do big things, then you will attract that. That's my religion, I guess. So I'm not trying to put it on you or anything. It just is what it is. And I think it's good to have faith in something, whatever that is. But again, this is not about that. So I apologize. If current index is over length schedule, okay. And then we have to print another C print. All tasks are completed. And then we'll say this one is white on green because we successfully completed all our tasks. And then we're just going to break. So break stops the loop. And then here we'll say time.sleep 15 seconds. And then down here, we're going to say main. This actually runs it. Okay, and we're done. So you have all the code to your new productivity app. And let's see if it runs. It looks like I have a little error here. So I didn't finish it. I didn't finish it. So you actually have to go ahead and put this JSON in there. So you can see this is the JSON that I have. And it's a little ugly, but it's essentially you have these two brackets here. And I can always select this and format document. So whenever you have JSON, and this is in a task.json file that we created, you can always like reformat it by doing this. Like if it looked ugly like this, you can select all and click format document. But this is where you put in your actual things that you're trying to get done today. So you can see I missed my timer, unfortunately. But let's say I can say like finish productivity app. And let's give us 6 minutes here. And I could then say, what's next? I want to build the data stream app. I want to build the recent trades app. I mean, the recent trades app is really it. So that's the recent trades app. And then I want to build the liquidation app. I want you to have all of the data apps that I have so that you have everything I have. That's my whole goal here. I want to give you everything I know. I'm not stopping until you have everything I know. Liquidation app. I want to have the funding app. So we're going to build all of these right now. So this is how you change your actual task. You can see there it says it's in quotes here, and then this right here, the dots, and then the minutes. These are the minutes for each task. And then there's a comma after each one of them except the last one. So this is super easy to do. It's a little, if you're new to coding, to me, it was a little intimidating. But then you can see here, if I run this, hopefully it works now. And it does. You can see finish productivity app. I have 5 minutes, and then it will move on to the recent trades app. Now you might be asking yourself, Moondev, look at this. It's over here in this nice looking folder. Well, this is how you can do that. So we're going to go here, and just to show you, it's not a folder, this is a terminal, but I'm going to grab the copy path, full path, copy path. And then here I can say shell new window. Okay. And remember, we went over this already about, look, I'm on the base layer, but I actually want to be on my T-flow or whatever your Conda environment is. Conda activate T-flow. Okay. So I'm in there now. And now to run the file, you actually have to CD. This moves you into a new directory, and I'm going to move into this directory. But look, I actually have the .py. I need to delete the py because I just want to get into that folder. So I'm going to CD user md desktop. This is just like I grabbed the file path and then deleted the .py part, and I can CD in there. And I did it wrong. I need to keep the last slash there. Oh, it's because there's a space. So this is why you don't want to use spaces in your files. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that real quick. So on my desktop, remember we set this up on the dev file here? Don't use spaces in your file names. It's just, it makes it harder. So productivity app. And now if I said, oh my goodness, I just ruined it all. That's funny, but it's okay because we can just open up this new folder that we created. So let's just go ahead, new window here, and open up that new folder. Remember, this is probably a good example. Good. Let's go ahead and click that new folder, productivity app here, and you can see it's open now. And I already showed you how to run it in your terminal, but I think it looks a little nicer, or in the Visual Studio Code. I just think it looks a little nicer in the terminal. So I can grab this path here. And in reality, I could just run it, saying Python, then run that like that. And you can see it needs to say allow. It says task.json is not available. It's because I remember I changed this file name, file path. So I need to copy this path here, and this is good debugging here. You see it says no such file is available. That's because I just changed the folder name, remember? So if I change the folder name, everything changes. The files change, the file directory changed. So this is good. You can see now it has an underscore. So now if I run it, and I can just hit up to run the last thing I ran, and you can see now it's running here from the terminal, and I can hit Command L to delete some things in the terminal. And then I can just let it run, and then it should output what we want every few seconds. There you go, finish productivity app. And then every 15 seconds or so, it will run it. So there in this video, I know this was a little bit longer, but we built your first project, and now you have a productivity app that you can go ahead and every day just like really think on how you're going to do this. How are you going to attack your day, right? How are you going to attack your day? For me, it would be like this. You know, we have the productivity ideas up here. So I would go here and put this in. So I'm just going to put this as notes for now and delete it. But I would say, okay, I'm an algo trader now. I need to make sure to focus on the research and the back test mostly. So I'm going to research strategies. And I'm going to do that for 45 minutes today. And then I'm going to do a back test number 1. I'm going to do that for 90 minutes today. And then I'm going to go ahead and backtest number 2. I'm going to do that for another 90 minutes. And I probably should go ahead and research again before that. So I can say research or read a paper, 30 minutes. There we go. And then backtest number 2, 90 minutes. However much time you have, I would just build it like this. I would do this. It's so important. You can see how it rushed me on to the next thing, which is good. It's keeping my pacing going. And then, you know, maybe I can say, watch YouTube strats for 30 minutes. And then, you know, use the community, like meet these people, because these people are so smart. People trading at hedge funds, people, prop firms, other quants out there. There's so many smart people out there. It's crazy. A lot of people from finance. Like, the community is so powerful, and I highly recommend go build some friendships there, because yeah, they're really smart people. So connect with others, and then here I'll say I'll do that for 45 minutes. So that could be your day. You know, that's like a pretty good day. And if you did that every single day, you're going to find a ton of profitable strategies. And then later on, once you have 5 strategies, well, maybe then you could add in, you know, and you can change the time up, because I know this is getting into a long day, but you could add in code out profitable bots. So I just really want to make sure that your mind is right here. And, you know, the coding of the bots does not take that long. I show you out throughout this entire training how to code bots. So I can't wait to show you all that. But I really want to emphasize how important backtesting and researching and reading and studying and connecting with others is, because when you connect with others, you're going to learn how they approach the market as well. So yeah, there's so much benefits from connecting with others. There's so many benefits from doing the studying and really keeping it in the research and backtesting phase before going to code out the bots, because you're only going to code out profitable backtests in the bots, and you're going to save so much. I can hit save here, and then I can hit Control C on a MacBook to kill that off, and then up in order to run it again. So you can see there, I can run it. I can also just run it from here. A little easier. I can just say, make sure I'm on the right interpreter here. Okay, and then I can just hit the play button. So either way, I just want to show you a couple ways to run it. I think over here is a little cleaner, but it's a little more advanced. Again, I know all of this was, if you're new to coding, all of this today was advanced. I'm getting a couple advanced projects just out there, getting them on your computer so you have something that you can share with your friends, you know, post screenshots of your new productivity tool. Maybe you can help other people as well. Maybe they need a tool like this. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure your mind is right, your schedule's right, and that we can just go ahead and keep swimming forever, because time is irrelevant in my mind. You have finally found the place where you can learn how to automate your trading. I'm going to show you absolutely everything. I just want to make sure that you have a couple of these things that I literally use before we get into the actual bot part, and really reiterate the research, the back tests before implementing it to a bot, because I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did in the past. So make sure to do your research and come up with a strategy that is unique to you. And we have all the resources. I've shown you Google Scholar and all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next video where we'll go ahead and build some more.